Hello and welcome back to SourceFedNerd with your daily dose of table talk, where we talk about not tables, surprisingly, but your questions and topics that you recommend on Twitter using the hashtag tabletalk or on reddit.com/r/SourceFed. My name's Philip DeFranco.
I'm Joe Beretta.
And I'm Trish Hirschberger.
Let's get it out of the way. Yeah, I got a patch. Yeah, I saved a baby in a knife fight in a burning house. Whatever. Or maybe I slept in my contacts and it's really aggravated. Let's get into it.
It's probably the first one.
Probably. All right. Miss Lovely Cookie, at Miss Lovely Cookie, says, what type of sleeper are you? Light, heavy, sleepwalker, or talker? Snore?
There's so many different things.
There's so many, yeah.
I
snore sometimes, but usually only if it's been a long night where there's been some drinking involved. Then I snore.
That's
for sure.
like the heaviest of sleeps.
Yeah. That's a snore sleep.
You wake up with your leg behind your head type of sleep.
Right, exactly. Like sideways on the bed, like horizontal across the bed.
I'm like in my older age now, and I have a kid. I've learned to just like tune everything out. I'm a really heavy sleeper, unless. But it's like the really light things that'll wake you up. Like Hayden will come into the room and jump into bed. And I'm like, what is it? What is it?
Holy crap!
And I'll fall asleep. I used to be a massive sleepwalker. Never
really?
a talker.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I think I've talked about it before, so this could be redundancy. But when I was a kid, I watched Child's Play when I was like 6.
Oh, yeah. You
messed
talked
me
about
up
this.
for like... I probably sleptwalked night terrors for 3 years to the point where... probably more frightening for my parents, because I would get out of bed totally in a dream state, and apparently I would come downstairs and just have like a really blank look on my face. I think my eyes were open. So you'd see that your 8-year-old child, 7-year-old child walking down the stairs slowly, and then I'd stop in the living room and I'd stare at my dad. And then I'd run to him, jump on his lap, and grab him and scream things like, "I don't want you to die!" And then they take me back to bed.
Holy shit.
What would you do if Hayden did that to you now?
I would freak out.
Right.
So bad.
Like Children of the Corn style.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was a
Wow.
I'd be going on vacations. I'd be like, sorry, Lindsay, it's work. I can't be home with this fucking demon baby. This demon child is.
Yep.
I had sleepwalking like 3 or 4 times. That's it. But for the most part, I'm a heavier sleeper now. When I was younger, I would always leave the TV on. I'd always have to have like sound. Now I'm just like, no, everything off except a fan, and I'm out for usually 6 hours, because at that point my dog decides that he's gonna wake up and try and pee somewhere, and we don't have carpet, so it just.
That's what wakes you up.
Sorry.
Like, oh.
Yeah,
little
just little
patter, little
patter.
feet.
And I'm like, I hate you so much. And then there's the game of, well, maybe Lindsay will wake up first and open the door. When I say first, like, I'm just gonna fake sleep for 10 minutes until she opens it. She's gonna get so pissed when she watches
When
this.
you guys
but
have
anyway.
kids, you're gonna find out that's a very valuable asset to have in your repertoire.
No,
Fake sleep?
Yeah.
no, she's gonna Lindsay. I know she's gonna be like,
Do it.
Well, I don't have babies or dogs, so I can just sleep in the morning. But if there is like a FedEx guy or something at the door, there's no one I can't fake sleep through that because there's nobody else to get it.
yeah.
I have to drag
But
my
are you
butt
a light
out of
sleeper?
bed. No, I'm out when I'm out.
Did you guys have top like bed bunks when you were kids with your siblings or anything?
I didn't have a sibling, but I had a desk bed.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a desk. And it's like essentially like you're in a small room, and we think that maybe you should be able to fall out of bed.
You need a
and hurt
desk
yourself.
and a bed.
I must have been a heavy sleeper when I was a kid too, because I was the older brother, so I got the top bunk, because the top bunk is where it's at.
Yeah, it is. Top bunk is
And,
the way to go.
Our room was directly above my parents' rooms, and every once in a while they would just hear a and they'd run upstairs, and I would be asleep on the floor after rolling out of my top.
Why didn't you get
How
one
did
of
you
those
not
little
die?
railings?
How did you not die as a child?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
How
That
do
was
most
awesome.
of us not die as a child? I hear things
That's
that
true,
like
too.
people do as kids, and
Yep.
by all accounts, you should have died.
Oh yeah.
Then.
I've fallen out of trees, and the last thing to like stop me from dying was my leg would get caught on a branch, and it would just save me. Yep, lots of crazy
My
stuff.
dad was telling me about like sitting on the handlebars of his friend's bike, like going down a busy street and just flipping over, and like that should probably kill
Every
you.
time I look at you guys, it's Pirate Joe. To the eyes. So it's like I feel almost guilty. I'm like, you get evil, Joe. And now I'm back.
Yay!
Let's move on. We talked sleep.
Okay.
Sleep. That sounds nice right now.
At Adam Lockett says, in what ways do you try to separate yourself from YouTube from off-camera life?
Ooh,
Hashtag table talk.
at the house we usually have a no camera policy that isn't broken unless a Shay or a Toby or
I was gonna say
someone.
that stems from the days when like 5 years ago, every YouTuber was vlogging all the time, and we'd all hang out every once in a while, and everybody would just have
if you
freaking cameras.
I think if you Google like Sexy Phil or DeFranco and Rapture Party. There are probably like 15 angles of like that, and I was like, and none of them are mine, I don't think. Wow. And I'm just like, there are so many motherfuckers with cameras. So I think for the most part, I try to not have people vlog at my house.
A lot of YouTubers, and it's a different culture, and I appreciate it, and I love it, but they haven't figured out a way to separate the work and the YouTube and the personal life, and I think it's an important separation. A lot of the vloggers, I applaud Shay. I don't know how Shay does it. Because
he also has like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and he doesn't
film
film everything.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to turn it off. The nice thing about a normal job that you go do is that you go to McDonald's or you go to the lumber mill or you go to the accountant's office and you do your work there and then you leave and it's gone and you get to forget it. But in this world, especially now that we're connected all the time with our phones and our social accounts and stuff like that and our computers, it doesn't turn off. And every once in a while, it gets to you. Like, you're just, I want nothing to do.
Nothing to happen.
I try really hard to keep my personal life, like at certain aspects of my personal life, more over people. Like if there's people that have not made the decision that they would like to be in the spotlight or publicly known, and they're very close to me in my life, I try to respect that and not like put them in all my Instagram photos and tweet about them and that kind of stuff. Just because, I don't know, like I know that's when I first started here, you know, it takes people on the internet a while to get used to you, and sometimes they don't say the nicest things, and I feel like unless you're voluntarily...
I'm really sorry about that. Look, I got 20 accounts.
It was all Joe.
I just need to vent every once in a while. It was evil Joe.
It was all evil Pirate Joe. But yeah, I mean...
Evil Pirate Joe.
Unless people are voluntarily subjecting themselves to that, I don't know that I want to put them out there. Kind of like Elliot does with his wife. Like she's not in all of his videos, that kind of stuff.
I think it's a very dangerous line if you cannot, if you're blurring those two worlds too much, because then you kind of lose a sense of yourself, because your everyday self becomes a show. It becomes something that you're worrying about on an insecurity level. And when you can't go to the store and choose a certain food because you think it's going to be reacted to in a certain way, that is a very unhealthy way to live. And that's not just in what we do, that's everything.
No, totally. I mean, even if what we did wasn't YouTube, like, I have to actively, like, there are certain people I want to work with, but I actively don't because I want to be able to have a friend that I don't employ. Like, because it completely changes the dynamic. Like, you can say that it doesn't, and for the most part, it does, but, at the end of the day, it's like, this person, like, signs the checks, and it's fucking weird. So, I don't know.
It creates a hierarchy.
So Phil doesn't really want to be our friend.
We're not Phil's
I hate you guys.
For real.
No, like, it creates a stigma. Anytime that we play a game, anytime, like, a SourceFed plays head-to-head, people are like, I bet they let him win. And I'm like, that is probably 50% true for Joe.
I'm too competitive to let Phil win.
Joe is too competitive, and then
no, anytime I can really win, I'll try to win.
We got, like, 2 interns that, like, I think their goal is to, like, beat me and crush me in something, so I'm excited about that. And I'm more excited about that. Like, I don't want to fucking be treated different. I don't know. Anyway, so I think separation's important. Big time.
Yay!
In our lives and in yours, says Evil Joe.
Evil Joe.
Evil Pirate Joe.
Well,
that's a
my answer to this is going to be Evil Pirate Joe. Fictional character you would want on Table Talk.
Oh, man.
And that is from Benedict Cumbersack.
I think this guy, got us to react. Good job, Cumbersack.
That is funny.
Is it Benedict or Dick? It's Dick.
Dick.
Benedict.
I feel like ever since we said we like that you guys make names to make us laugh, I've seen some weird things.
Some real weird names.
Fictional character.
Fictional character you would want on Table Talk. So fictional character you would want to have a lengthy conversation with.
And talk about weird stuff with, and just sit next to.
The doctor. I'm gonna just go to the doctor. I want to talk to him and then be infuriated when he doesn't answer any of my questions properly. That's what I want to watch.
Jessica Rabbit would be fun to sit next to.
Yes, she would. That's my girl.
Play some patty cake with that rabbit.
That's right. She plays a good patty cake. I've heard
I just want you to do an entire episode. Just talk like that.
I want to sit next to Jessica Rabbit. I used to sleepwalk when I was a kid. I got a patch on my eye. It's not absolutely necessary, but I like it.
I like it.
So I'm going with the doctor. Who are you going with?
It's a fictional character, but played by a real life person. I would go with Bill Nye the Science Guy. I think he's fascinating, and I would love to ask him a ton of questions. Bill Nye, if you're out there, I love you.
That's pretty cool.
I love you.
God, it could be anybody. I could be sitting next to John McClane. That'd be badass. I could be sitting next to Walter White, which I wouldn't, because I'd be scared.
John McClane, I feel like that would be the worst conversation.
I know.
He'd be like, yep.
It'd be so boring.
No. Yep.
Is it
And then just something
Christmas?
terrible happens. That's all it is.
You're gonna go on an adventure, is what's gonna
You are
happen.
gonna go on an adventure.
Indiana Jones, he's gonna take you on an adventure. That'd be pretty sweet. Man, that's a tough question. The brave little toaster.
Oh,
I want to
Awesome.
sit next to a talking
Awesome
my
toaster.
childhood
choice.
just smacked me in the face.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
This little thing is going to teach me some
Oh.
lessons about life. He's going to make me some toast, and he's also going to talk to me as an inanimate object, and that's scary and fascinating.
I saw a recommendation on Reddit that we should break the bowl once a month and use bowls that people send in /make.
That's hilarious.
I think that should be a thing. I feel like that doesn't start though until we get our next bowl.
Yeah,
sent
so-
in.
Yeah, so
if
after
you
the
wanna,
next bowl.
Yeah, so if you want to send some in,
I was picturing us breaking the bowl and then just having
P.O.
a
box
mound of
down
folded
below.
papers.
Joe gets to do it every time
Joe is a
because he
bowl
started
breaker.
it.
I've made it!
Here we go. Let's do one last one and we're
Go,
good.
Joe, go.
Go, Joe, go.
Make it a good one.
Let's see what we've got here on the paper slip.
Would you ever, hey, just because you did that, would you ever be a male cheerleader?
It wasn't as much fun as it sounds.
I would see that.
Did you? Oh, you were a cheerleader in a
Here's my
commercial,
cheerleader.
right?
No, I was a cheerleader in real life.
general.
And in real life?
I
That's
did it my
amazing.
first year in college, and I don't regret much in life, but that is a regret for me.
That is a
Really?
regret?
I
Why?
hated it. It just wasn't fun.
Not-
I didn't get roped into it, but it was a situation where if I didn't do it after I kind of fell into the situation, then they would have been short, and one of the poor girls wouldn't have had a partner. So I did it, and I did
Aw.
it at Gonzaga, so I could go to the NCAA tournament. This is after they went to the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16. I'm like,
Yeah.
sweet, I'm gonna go to the freaking national championship. Dan Dickows, our senior point guard, F yeah, this is gonna be amazing. He's an All-American, which he was. They lost in the first freaking round to Wyoming.
No.
Wasted my freaking freshman year.
My
But
life.
did you get to touch a lot of Heine?
I touched Heine.
Well, it's
But that's not as fun as you think either.
well because they have that guard thing, right?
The guard thing?
The thing over the vajay, right?
Oh,
Well,
no.
you have
No,
bloomies
they just
on,
have
so you're not
bloomers on.
touching bare vajay,
Yeah.
but it's not like a jockstrap, like it's not
They-
hard or
it's
anything.
no,
It's
again,
like
not
panties.
as glamorous as it sounds.
I thought it might be
but there were stories of finger slips.
Ew.
There were. Not personally for me, but I heard stories.
Unless that was like something that they wanted, it seems like that would be just a bad experience for everyone.
That's
for
it.
everyone.
For
The
everyone.
only positive that I really got. There's a couple positive. I did meet some cool people and have some friends.
Working
to this
out?
day. What's that? Kind of working out, staying in shape. But the best thing was that I went to college with an earring. Like in my summer after my senior year, I got my ear pierced just to see what it was like.
know that.
And I probably would have stuck with it way too long. But we were doing a stunt, and one of the girls fell and landed on my ear and ripped it out. So that was good.
Oh no!
She made the decision for me with her body.
Oh my god.
No, Joe.
That is so scary.
That is
Wait, do you
so
still have the
scary.
hole?
No, it's yeah, I'm good.
Because mine never fucking closed.
Oh, you have
fully.
it too?
Did you
I
have
had
both
two.
your ears
I had
pierced?
two because I'm a tool.
See, you regretted it too.
Yes. Oh no. When I started on YouTube, I had earrings. It was
Wow.
it was double earrings, backwards hat,
Oh.
and like
Phil.
sports hoodie. It was
Oh,
Bro
Phil.
Phil. You were Bro Phil.
bro Phil.
Oh man, that's amazing. Hey, I want to clear one thing up too. I've done way more than just cheerleading. I've done ballet. Thank you very much. Wait, I want to say the manly things, don't I?
No,
I've done gymnastics. I did 3 years of jazz and modern dance, but I also played baseball, ran track, I wrestled, played basketball and football. I was a Hall of Fame athlete, so get off me.
You were a Hall of Fame athlete
I did what I did.
in Nebraska or
In Montana.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was a Hall of Fame in my school.
Just so you know.
Joe, that's why you're the athlete.
All of that general area of Middle America is Texas and Nebraska. To me.
Yeah, right. Well, no,
I hate
Montana-
saying that.
I should wait. Let me do this. Let me reverse. I was a Hall of Fame athlete in Montana. So let's keep things in
Hey,
perspective
that's still
here.
impressive.
I would have loved to play football. I wouldn't have
Football's
wanted
fun.
to do cheerleading. I really wanted to be a tight end, but
You
that
don't
didn't
like
work
get
out.
scared you'll get hurt?
No, but it's awesome.
You don't get scared you're gonna get hurt until you get hurt, and then you're like, oh crap, I got hurt.
I was just a kid that was like, it was at that point that I was like not as fat anymore in high school, like because I was like fluctuating like crazy, and I just had lots of anger, and I could catch a ball really well, like, and so I wanted to play football.
You should have been a
and I
tight
broke
end or
my
a
arm.
defensive end. And if you had anger, you could have been a middle linebacker and probably done pretty well too. If you had a little.
Wow.
See, but now the new level of like tight ends are scary. They're like 6'8".
They're basketball. They're LeBron James.
Yeah, they're 6'8" and crazy fast
We were talking.
and muscular.
Imagine if all of America's best athletes across the board all played soccer. How we would just dominate soccer. Imagine LeBron James in the goal of
Oh my
at
God.
soccer.
Oh.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, because you could just stand there.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think would be amazing. Even our.
I don't know.
Did you look at Game 7? He scored so many times because no one would get close to him. There was like 3 feet at any given time.
Points. He started using his superpowers, his mental capabilities
They were
to
like-
just keep away. Yeah.
They were like, shoot that 3, and he was like, okay, I guess. Okay, fuck, you guys lost.
Okay, cool. Since let's just move on now. We'll go to Black Cassiel from the Reddits. He says, or she says, if you could have sex with any superhero, who would it be and why?
Superman! That was
Superman?
easy.
You might get destroyed.
Oh.
You'd die.
No, he'd be gentle.
Oh, would he?
He's powerful
I'm a
but
gentle
gentle.
lover.
Everybody
But
has,
it would-
every man
but-
has that side of him that just gets a little too carried away.
I don't know.
sometimes.
I'd wanna have sex with Superman when he's Clark Kent though.
Oh, really? Not even the Superman part?
You just
No,
wanna shoot?
can I just like hang out at the Daily Planet and just what up, Clark
So
Kent?
you just
What
want
up
a
with you?
really ripped journalist. Just a really fucking ripped
well,
journalist.
but who can also save me from the end of the world if that
Which
if
is
it
going to
comes
happen
that.
because he's a dangerous person.
Yeah. He might not be around much.
Why?
He's gonna be carrying other ladies from burning
No,
buildings
he
and
only
stuff.
he only saves if you watch any Superman stuff. Lois gets saved first, and like 75% of the other people just die.
But that's the thing. Lois is always going to be in the equation, so you got.
I'd be the Lois in my
You're the
fantasy.
Lois?
I would be the
So you're
Lois. I
changing
would
things up.
replace.
He's taking long vacations to Krypton.
No,
He's
I'm
not
not going to be
calling.
the other woman.
There's no service.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
I feel a little bit of jealousy
He
coming up.
cheats on you.
I
he
am a little
flies around
jealous
the
of
planet
Lois Lane. I'm not
opposite.
gonna lie.
What's
Reverses
yours?
time. Mystique.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah?
But,
Really?
But you
Really?
get everything.
But I would take
she
it.
can change it.
But I'd stick to the blue because you beautiful.
I would take
Fuck
it a
me, I
step
just
You
messed that up.
blew
further,
beautiful.
and I wouldn't go Mystique because if she gets all angry, which she tends to do, she got an angry streak. She's gonna turn diamond and snap off my wang. So I'm gonna go with Morph. Yes, he's a dude, but Morph can morph. Every other thing, but Morph ain't going diamond on my junk. So
How do you know?
I don't know. I never seen Morph go diamond.
But could he?
Morph seems like he'd be a gentle lover.
Yeah, he would. And if he wasn't, he would turn into somebody that was. And then I could get into that weird thing where I'm like, could you just for like 2 seconds turn into me? I just want to know what it's like.
Ew!
That's
Can you do?
funny.
Okay,
Can you do me with
That's
a vagina
funny.
morph? I'm
All
just
right,
asking.
we need to
I'm just
explore this
asking.
now because would
Explore
you
this.
screw yourself if you could?
If I was ripped, sure, why not?
It depends.
I'm like,
The first date, no. But if I was a gentleman to myself, maybe the second or third.
but why would I have
Crazy.
sex with myself? Wait, is it a clone?
Yeah, that.
It's you with a vagina.
Ew!
I have a vagina. You said. The thing is, like, when I look at myself, I wouldn't have sex with me right now. If I was a girl, I wouldn't have sex with me.
But just for the sheer novelty of.
How about we don't put the money into the research for clones I can fuck, and I use that money and remove ribs so I can just do it without another person.
Wow.
Come on, you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't do it? I mean, well, I don't know. If you do it.
I have said Meg Turney and I have had this
I was
conversation.
like, this is about to be the best table
Here we
talk
go.
ever. Okay.
No,
we
if
go.
I could, I 100% would. I 100% would.
And
But I.
how would you do it?
Would it be at your house?
Would there be candles?
There might be candles.
What kind of music?
And rose petals.
Are you maybe straight out of the bath?
No, music.
I have a
Like,
wife and a child. We went here on Table
The
Talk.
musical soundtrack to Legend. I don't know.
That's
a little weird. I'm
Would
sorry.
you? I'm gonna change my my answer from Morph to Tim Curry from Legend.
Not.
Seems legit.
If you're going Tim Curry, you at least have to go Rocky Horror.
No, I'd rather get the big old devil. Let's get nasty, Tim Curry.
I thought you were gonna say
From
the big
Clue.
old dick.
The big old dick.
Ah,
That's the best way to refer to a giant penis. The big old dick.
that was in unison. That was
Yeah.
good. We just didn't harmonize.
What would you do if like a girl was like dirty talking and said something about your big old dick?
I'd
Is
high
that
five
good?
her. Boom! By her. I mean, my wife. I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble.
It's not like a guy's gonna be like, well, actually, it's not that big.
I'm gonna go home. And
But seriously, if some girl's like, yeah, big old dick, that's a turn on. I think that's a little
Well, wait, is she
weird
saying
phrasing.
it in that
Yeah,
form?
that's like, how else you can't say that.
Does
cute.
she like turn into like a guy voice? And a big old dick.
No, but
Yeah.
wait, say it again.
I mean, like that's a big old dick. Like that's not.
That
really
sounds
sexy.
like that girl is wearing some Daisy Dukes.
She's from the south.
Maybe her name's
maybe
Dixie May.
She's pretty interesting. She's got some friends that are about to get off work in about an hour.
Oh my god.
Like that's about to be a party. That's what that sounds like. And that's the end of Table Talk. We're going to end it before Joe, his marriage ends.
I'm already done. I'm going to go home, and she's going to go, I didn't mind that you were talking about having sex with Morph, but why didn't you say he would turn into me?
If you want to ask us more weird sex questions and or anything else, you can use the hashtag Table Talk or go to reddit.com/r/SourceFed. My name's Philip DeFranco.
I am Evil Joe.
I'm Trish Hirschberger. I'm laughing too hard to even
It turned
say
into just
my
one
name.
big mumbled
I feel
food
like my
bite.
name always has to go last when we say names because mine's too long. It's
So,
too many syllables. It
The
has
last
to
thing
go
we'll go
at
out
the
with
end.
just as deep and manly and masculine as you can. Big old dick to the camera.
Big old dick.
Welcome to that.